Here, a two-wheel drive pulling vehicle is any wheelbase type of vehicle, so we'll see some funny car appearing vehicles. They're allowed up to 650 cubic inches here on the Grand National level. They run an Alky Racing alcohol, and they use superchargers, and they'll be spinning those superchargers at high RPMs. Wheel standards, the two-wheel drive, lots of fun. The funny cars of NTPA pulling, they're coming up. It's pulling time in Chapel Hill, Tennessee, as our test puller comes to the track. It's a 1969 Porsche. As I told you, this is the funny car class, so this may not look like that sleek, elegant Porsche you've seen. Floyd Hilton has been behind the wheel of this vehicle for a number of years. Floyd, this is a critical time for him right now as he hopes to put together a good hook and a good finish here at Chapel Hill. Right now, he's in the bottom half of the top 10 in points. This vehicle, 596 cubic inches of Arius power. Our test puller, which means he'll have the option of taking this particular run or dropping back into the class and coming back for another attempt. We do that because he's not had an opportunity to see anyone else in competition. Very important here at Chapel Hill, reading the track. The competitor can place the Lutke Eliminator sled anywhere in between the white chalk lines. It's completely up to him. We'll find out where the racing groove is tonight here at the Super Pull of the South. Green flag soon to be out for the man from Royal City, Indiana. Floyd Hilton. Floyd Hilton lessens about to gain a 300-foot full pull, and right now the thumb is up saying, I want to take that pull. Floyd, nice job.
Well, I want to thank you, Doc. You know, I'm happy to be here. All you Chapel Hill friends, you know, I made here over the previous years. I want to thank Kendall, and I want to thank Skoll, and especially I want to thank my wife. It's her birthday, and I want to thank Jim Hegler for building me a beautiful machine.
Good enough. Good luck. Out of Glasgow, Kentucky, this is Keith Long in a 1986 Chevrolet S10 Keith Black Hemi Power. Now, Keith Long does not attend all of the Grand National events. He's not running for points, but Keith Long, a couple of years ago, had all the Grand National guys scratching their heads as he ended up second at this particular event. He gives up a whole bunch in cubic inches. On the Pro National level, they're only allowed 575 cubic inches, so he's underneath 575. He's definitely has the experience to get it handled here, and we'll see how Long Gone does out of Glasgow, Kentucky. Keith Long in a 1986 Chevrolet S10. For Keith Long, 2:92 and 6. Out of Shelbyville, Indiana. It's a young man that's been behind the wheel here for a couple of years. Picked up all kinds of experience. One of the top Pro National competitors, Doug Theobald, in the 1954 Sunshine Pet Foods Wicked Willie. Another Pro National competitor that hopes to go to the Grand National level one of these days. Picking up experience and valuable pointers simply by getting enough time behind the wheel. Don't count this guy out. He's a college student out of Purdue University in Lafayette, Indiana during the school year. During the summer, however, he's 100% motorsport competitor. The whole family involved here. Doug Theobald, the Wicked Willie out of Shelbyville, Indiana. 297 feet even. He had good ground speed. Looked like the weight was right. And again, the Sunshine Pet Foods Wicked Willie giving up a little cubic inches to the guys that usually run on the Grand National circuit. But a real good effort by this young man out of Shelbyville, Indiana. Talk a little bit about the track conditions. What about that hook?
The track is really good out here tonight. There's a soft spot down here around 275 feet that it could go either way. The moisture might come up and make it better, but it could be ate up after a little while. I don't know.
Another competitor out of Glasgow, Kentucky, a 1941 Willys. Seems to be the night for Willys. Again, less than 575 cubic inches, running an Arius motor. Now we'll see Keith Black's, Ford's, Arius's, and Chevrolet engines here at Chapel Hill. 1941, nice looking body style. Ricky Long behind the wheel. Will he make it? We'll see what happens. They're all chasing Floyd Hilton and the 1969 Porsche. This could be a big turning point in Grand National Series points for the man out of Royal Center, Indiana. Floyd Hilton leads the field. Will he make it? Let's see what Ricky Long can do here at the Super Bowl of the South. 7 feet and 5 inches. Ricky Long, will he make it? Didn't make full pull, but I got to tell you something, knocking on the door right there, quite possibly for a runner-up spot.
Yeah, it really felt good coming out the hole, but about, I don't know, 200 foot or so, I went to the right really hard, and I was standing on it pretty hard. It felt good, though.
If you had an opportunity, would you spot the sled someplace else?
That's probably about the best we can do right now. It seems like maybe they'll build a groove out of it. I don't know.
Well, a man that's had a great season, his turning point may have been last weekend in Fort Recovery, Ohio, as Steve Olson picked up not one but 2 wins during the weekend. And during that particular time, vaulted himself into a first-place tie with Greer Hamilton, a 1934 Ford running Keith Black Hemi engines. Steve Olson been around pulling for a number of years as a 4-wheel drive competitor. He's one half of the Simon and Olson pulling team, headquartered out of Iowa. They're happy to get out of the state and get pulling, as they have had a whole lot of time in second place for the past couple of years. They've ended up in the runner-up spot this year. They'd like to take home the national championship. They're well on their way to doing it, but this could be the critical event for them as they're tied for first place coming in this weekend at Chapel Hill. Steve Olson tightens the chain, gets set here. He's chasing the points, currently number 1 with Greer Hamilton. 640 cubic inches of Keith Black motor coming at you. Foot, the second one out the gate. Steve Olson, a 1934 Ford. He put himself tied for the points lead coming into this event. Right now, he's running steady to maybe win the event. 2 out the gate, Floyd Hilton and Steve Olson. Roger Simon is coming up. We'll be right back with more right after this on ESPN. Roger Simon has finished second for the past 3 years in Grand National points. He'd like to pull a big win here and get back up into the points lead. His partner, Steve Olson, is tied right now with Greer Hamilton in the number 1 spot. Sitting in third, Roger Simon out of Dyersville, Iowa, 1992 Dodge. Keith Black power, 640 cubic inches of Hemi engine coming at you right now. 2 out the gate, and Roger Simon, and Simon says, make it 3. Well, Roger Simon puts the Simon Says again past 300 feet. Floyd Hilton was the first one that started a 300-foot club here at Chapel Hill. This is a 1993 Jeep. Now, we told you at the beginning of the show the fact that there's no wheelbase requirement here. You'll get a funny car. The only way to tell this is really a Jeep is to look at it from heads on. You can't really tell from the side. The vehicle can be no longer than 15 foot. That's from the furthest point of the vehicle back to the center of the rear wheel. So any wheelbase acceptable, and you'll see these guys stretching out the wheelbase so they can get all that maximum leverage, all that weight displacement going on when they start getting the wheels up in the air. The wheel standard, 650 cubic inches of power. Floyd Hilton, the first one out, 300 feet. He's got another unique opportunity to place this, his newest vehicle, a 1993 Jeep, past the 300-foot line and compete against himself in a pull-off, as well as Steve Olson and Roger Simon. Let's see if he can beat the track here at the Hill. once, but twice. Greer Hamilton, this is one of those great success stories for this season. So we celebrate 25 years of pulling on the NTPA circuit. Greer Hamilton, a couple of weeks ago, was in 10th place overall in the points and ready just to chuck it all away. But his engine builder, Jeff Fowler, and the folks at Fowler Engine said, no, let's continue with a little research. Let's continue with a little bit of trial and error. Let's continue toughing it out. So Greer Hamilton said, sure, why not? We'll give it a shot. Comes back the very next week after spending a little bit of time in Columbus, Ohio at the Fowler Engine shop. Comes back and wins both qualifying and the finals events at Toma, Wisconsin, and vaults himself into a tie for second place. Last weekend did just good enough to get enough points. This weekend tied for first place with Steve Olson. He's on a roll. The man's got momentum in his 1934 Ford, a Ford power plant out of Lancaster, California. It's the Seducer Ford of Greer Hamilton. Greer Hamilton all the way past 300 feet in a big way. Greer Hamilton joins the full club, so it's Hamilton, Hilton, Simon, Olson, and Hilton. Randy Pietro up next out of Camden, Ohio. Everyone seems to say that the track is in outstanding shape here. We'll see if it continues as the sun starts to go down and the moisture starts to come up. 1923 Ford T-Bucket, 572 cubic inches of Ford power. Greer Hamilton joins the full club, so it's Hamilton, Hilton, Simon, Olson, and Hilton. Dave Deppy waiting in the wings. Let's see, 2 more opportunities for someone to get past 300 feet. Sails it front end up. Oh my goodness, Kathy's complaint. Nothing to complain about this time around. Dave Deppy out of Faribault, Wisconsin in the Bad Badger Ford, 650 cubic inches, a tough running Ford. Dave Deppy needs to make something happen here at this event. He's been almost constantly in third place the entire season. And with 179 points, he's just 1 point shy of making it happen. Randy Pietro, Greer Hamilton, Floyd Hilton, Roger Simon, Steve Olson, and Floyd Hilton are all in the pull-off. And let's see if the man from Faribault, Wisconsin in the Bad Badger can make it happen this time around. Deppy taking a long way home. I tell you, this has been a great event for so many years, and it doesn't get any better than this. 7 out the gate in a 300-foot clash. We'll be right back with more right after this.
SK Bedliners, the toughest bedliner in the business.
Welcome back to the Super Bowl of the South, the 12th annual Lions Super Nationals, presented by Beeman's Pepsi-Cola Bottlers of Nashville. I tell you, this has been a great event for so many years, and it doesn't get any better than this. 7 out the gate in a 300-foot clash. We have to determine who the winner is going to be. Floyd Hilton, first of 7 out of the gates here at Chapel Hill in the pull-off. Floyd Hilton giving everything he possibly could, went side to side, had to get on the brakes, and finally comes to rest just short of 310 feet in the pull-off. Steve Olson tied for the points lead, and the pressure is going to be on this guy from Farley, Iowa. The first thing he needs to do is get by 282 feet and 4 inches. That's where Floyd Hilton has set the mark. The second thing he needs to do is go way past that so no one else can get close to him. Let's see if he can accomplish one goal to get by the mark set by the man in purple, Floyd Hilton. 293 and some change. It all goes for nothing. Disqualified. He's out of bounds. What a tough break for Steve Olson as he put the front tire right on the chalk line, and that puts him back in about 7th place. Well, the Simon and Olson team will have one more shot at it, at least the win, as out of bounds is Steve Olson, and that is a tough break for that man. If he would have turned the wheel, he probably would have been all right. But you try turning the wheel on a vehicle 15 foot long, and all you've got to work with is about a 2-inch spot where the wheel touches the ground. Steve Olson puts all that behind him right now as he stages Roger Simon, the man out of Dyersville, Iowa. Right now, he's got an opportunity to take the #1 position here at Chapel Hill. Let's see if the Dodge can do it. Roger Simon needs to go by 282 feet and 4 inches. That's our leading distance set by Floyd Hilton. $297-1 for Roger Simon. He takes the lead as that Keith Black-powered Dodge went sailing by 282-4. Floyd Hilton going to do it with the Jeep this time. He's got an opportunity to put his name in the record book. Floyd Hilton, as long as he's been pulling, has never claimed a Grand National win. He'd like to do it for his wife Penny's birthday, which is happening today. The distance to beat, a very salty 297-1. Floyd's first effort was at 282 feet and 4 inches. Now, he may have picked up a little bit of knowledge here with the Jeep. He does not have a whole lot of experience behind the wheel of this vehicle. It's only run about 6 or 7 times this year. But he's got to be happy with the performance that it's turned in here at Chapel Hill as he got it into the pull-off. Let's see what he can do here in our 310-foot pull-off. Floyd Hilton giving it everything he got. He's going to come up short of the 300-foot line. He's not going to take away the top prize, but he can be happy with the effort he's turned in here at the Lions Super Nationals. We should mention at this time that the regular length of our track is 300 feet, but in a pull-off at Chapel Hill, you get 10 more feet. 310 feet is the competition course in the pull-off, so they can go all the way to 310 if they've got the horses, the experience, and the power to make it happen. Let's see what Greer Hamilton can do here, as right now it's his turn to put his name in the record book here at the Super Bowl of the South in Chapel Hill, Tennessee. Well, he used all of 310 feet right there, right where the cones are, 310 feet. 308 feet 9 inches. You've got some horsepower here in a Seducer.
Yeah, and you know, Dave Repp, he's got big port. He's right behind me, but that was a good hook. It ain't going to be easy to catch.
Well, I got to tell you something. Greer Hamilton had everything going for him. He said he got on the brakes. Didn't look like it affected him. The wheel stander definitely had everything going his direction. 308 feet 9 inches. Randy Petro, Camden, Ohio, was next in the 23 Ford T-Bucket. Said he didn't want to change much this time around. Let's see if he can make it happen. It's going to be a heck of a shot for him. Dave Deppy, the Bad Badger, waiting in the wings as they chase the man from California who leads right now. Another good-looking wheel stand as he is very, very close to 300 feet. Not going to catch Greer Hamilton, but a good effort with a man that gave up some cubic inches, Randy Petro. This is the final man that can make it all happen, and I got to tell you, after all the years we've watched pull-offs at a number of different sites, 308 feet 9 inches may be going in the record book. Dave Deppy right now needs to have a win. He's third place. He's been in third place in points all season long. Let's see what happens with Dave Deppy and the Bad Badger. That'll put Greer Hamilton #1 as it not only threw Steve Olson out of bounds, but also Dave Deppy and a Bad Badger. Well, I got to tell you something, Greer Hamilton. We said at the top of the show, there's a couple of things you expect here at Chapel Hill, Tennessee, and one of them is heat and humidity. Did that affect you in any way, shape, or form?
I about died sitting in the truck, but I tell you what, I love this little place. Neat, full, and these guys just do anything for you.
Greer Hamilton, you've had a Grand National Championship in the mini rods, and this may be your year for one and a two-wheel drives. A lot of season left.
I've been waiting about 8 or 9 years to get it back up here again. I'm finally in first place by myself.
Greer Hamilton said it all, #1 by himself here at the Chapel Hill Lions Super Nationals. We'll be back to update the point standings, but first, this time out on ESPN's Challenge of Power. Well, it still feels like it's in the upper 90s here at Chapel Hill, Tennessee, and the humidity just about as bad. It's been a great, hot, wild weekend here at the Super Pull of the South. Let's take a look now at the Grand National Pulling Series points update. Two-wheel drives, Greer Hamilton jumps off to the lead in the two-wheel drive class. Roger Weissong continues to hold first place honors in the mini rods. Ed Wadler and Scott Smith tied for four-wheel drive points. Rob Russell holds off Tom Morrissey this week to continue to lead in super stock points. And Dave Banner is out in front in the unlimited modifieds. A hot, humid, high horsepower weekend. We'll promise you another one next week. I'm Doc Riley on ESPN for Challenge of Power.